All right, so real quick on distance control. So really, distance control should be like this kind of, right? So like here, put this ball in your hand, right? All right, now quick throw to me, right? So pretty good, right? You
Uh-huh.
just looked and did it. You didn't really think about where your hand was going or what you did with your hand,
Yeah.
right? You just look and react,
Uh-huh.
right? Sort of like in shooting hoops, like Shaq at the free throw line will sit there, right, and he struggles, right?
Yeah.
But if you pass that guy the ball
Uh-huh.
with in the middle of a game with 6 defenders around him,
Uh-huh.
he just makes it
Yeah.
every time, right? It's because he's hesitating,
Uh-huh.
right? And so he struggles because he sits there and he's stationary, right?
Yeah.
So that's why everyone's trying to go like this and act like they're, you know, trying to make it as real as like a reaction they can
Yeah.
in basketball. Similar in putting, we want it to be a reaction.
Okay.
There was a story where Dr. Bob Rotella was working with Davis Love III on his putting, and they were practicing where he wanted his eyes. He wanted his eyes before his eyes returned to the ball. He already wanted to be taking his putter back because that way he was reacting over there to the target. So it was one of these things where he'd set up and get ready to go, and then he wanted to look, and then before his eyes returned, he wanted to react. Okay, because that way then it's a true reaction. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're trying to create this reaction.
Okay.
Now some players don't look that quick, but it really should be kind of this thing where you're going to look. Okay, you're going to look, and then you want to just react with whatever you think, shoulders only back and forth, you should do.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't even know how far back or how far through my putter just went. I have no idea. You would know because you saw me do it.
Yeah.
I was looking and just reacting to whatever instinct felt like for that distance. I wasn't focused at all about how far does my putter move. Okay.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of a reaction. Now the only thing about the putter stroke length that's important is this. If I'm playing, let's say, and I'm playing in the wind, like so, I have the fortune of going with my family to Aruba to go play in the wind. There's trade winds. It's very windy, like 3 club winds, right? When it's windy, I get like this. I'm like, I crouch more
Uh-huh.
and stay lower to the ground, and my putting stroke is shorter and quicker, like that. Okay, because I'm trying to get it over with and not let the wind knock me over.
Gotcha.
Now here in California, right here in California, when it's not windy, right, and it's just a beautiful day, I don't have to be like that crouched and that fast with my stroke.
Yeah.
So I kind of get a little bit more comfortable, right, and then I make a lazier kind of stroke maybe if the greens are faster.
Uh-huh.
The stroke length doesn't matter, okay, as much as your touch. So it's like in billiards. It's not about how long the stroke is. It's about the touch of the hit. So for example, I can make a short stroke that goes that far, and look, I can make a long stroke that goes this far. So the long stroke went shorter than the short stroke.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not the stroke length. So you don't want to overly focus on stroke length. You just want to trust your instinct, kind of like you're just looking and doing it. Okay? The only other thing I should say though is it generally is better on shorter putts to have a shorter stroke and on longer putts to have a longer stroke. Meaning generally your feel for distance control, kind of like in horseshoes, if you've ever played that, back east we play horseshoes. Out here it's the cornhole game. But the horseshoes, you go like this and you're trying to figure out how hard, and then like, okay, that feels like the right amount. Okay, let me do that, right?
Yeah.
And so there's this like rehearse the feeling, and doing a longer, lazier motion generally gives you better feel.
Yeah.
So on a longer putt, so in a long putt, it's the same stroke mechanics, but when I set up, right, and I go look, I may make a longer putt, like a longer stroke, and a lazier motion, kind of because I'm trying to have a better sense of the feel. So you want to explore this on the putting green where you pick different targets and try to figure out, okay, it's a longer putt. I know I need to make a little bit of a longer stroke. I don't want to think too much about. I need to kind of react, but I know it should be a little longer. So there's like this place you got to find where it's like a reaction, but you're kind of and it's a short putt. There's no reason. If I had there's an old saying that you want your competitor to have a long putting stroke and deep pockets because then you can win money from them, right? So, because if somebody's making a long putting stroke, their putter can be waving around all over the place. That's good for you. You know what I mean? So that's why a lot of the shorter putts you want to set up to them, and you want them to be kind of like these kind of like shorter kind of more careful movements for the short putts compared to the long putts. But that's my my 2 cents on your putting distance, and really a lot of it is getting to the putting green and start trying to pick targets and then trying to react. Of course, you're going to fail some, but as you fail, your body will naturally start to get a better sense of what's happening and how hard to hit the ball.